My name's Amy Alexander. I'm 24 years old. I grew up in a small town called Romeo, Michigan, which is just outside of Detroit, Michigan. I've previously worked in the medium of social work and community development work. I've found myself here in the beautiful city of Joburg working on a film project that is amplifying oral narratives paired with visual pieces as well. As a child, I was always drawing, could not stop drawing. I constantly was making magazines of different clothes that I was designing and really excited to make one day. When I got to high school, I really wanted to continue that and took art classes here and there, but found that there wasn't a lot to encourage working with textiles and fabric and fashion. So I found that I sort of dropped out of that interest in high school and found that in other places. Learned to sew from my mother, but it wasn't something that was often encouraged by my family. I was highly encouraged to go on to higher education, study business, something practical like that. I found places to express myself in other ways, but as I got older, realized that I wasn't making time for that as much as I'd like to anymore. When I graduated high school, I found myself about 3 hours from home going to university at Western Michigan, and originally went there to study textile and apparel design, textile and apparel product development, which was the only program offered in the state. So that was very exciting. It was a fusion of business, marketing, and design. So I continued studying fashion and product development for 2 years and really fell in love with my design classes and with my pattern making classes. Those were really exciting, and I found that those were a way for me to create apparel, which I believe is the greatest form of art, because it's art that you can wear and express yourself on your body, and everyone that you engage with also has to engage with that expression of yourself. I definitely think that there was a lack of encouragement in the public education system that I found myself in. Very small town and very right-wing, super white town that really held on to this capitalist idea and this American dream, but also why I've found myself equally as critical of the fashion industry. It's working from this capitalist side of things that's continuously, constantly demanding art from the producers and from the designers and from the artists. And that was something that really turned me off to the whole industry. I struggle with the idea of capitalism, how that ties into creating a consumer who's reliant on money and reliant on consuming all the time in order to hold a place in society. And having that critical perspective made me start to look around a little bit more at what was it that I really wanted to channel my interest in, and I ended up completely switching my major at Western to studying sociology and theory, as well as nonprofits, because I find that nonprofits are kind of the place where you can fill the gap that there is in society for these services to happen for folks, and things that the government aren't and won't provide for other people. The work that I get to do with kids is through this dope program called Open Roads Bike, which is also in Kalamazoo, where we pair social emotional learning skills with bike mechanic skills. So kids between the ages of 10 and 16 go through a program. They learn how to execute patience with their friends on the same day that they learn how to work on brakes on their bicycle. We go through that for a few weeks, and the kids build a bike and they get to take it home. This is something that I think is really unique, and I'm super passionate about, because it gives kids the tangible evidence that they've done something really sweet. They also have learned these skills that they're gonna share with the rest of their friends and be able to either begin some entrepreneurial work, truly have an empowerment and say that, like, I have the skill to work on this bike, and are learning how to work with their hands and learning how to, behave practically and sustainably within the world at a young age. And I just think that that's so vital to instill in our youth. If you don't have that encouragement at a young age, it's really hard to find it as an adult. Haroon Gonsalves is a South African artist that is generously housing us here. He is in Brazil right now de-installing this piece that he put together. There was a mudslide in a small village of Brazil that covered the vast majority of the village, and meant there's a handful of people that are refusing to leave. So they're living in this mud and amongst this muck and in situations that are nothing like the life that they used to live. For the piece, he cut a cement home at the mud line at which it was covered, and then rebuilt it and put it back together and installed it in a museum there. He does really large-scale social intervention type works like that. I think art is a really incredible medium in which to speak on a social level, and to be able to intervene, to give the people of this village the empowerment to say, look, we're here and this happened to us, and have all these people from a much higher status of life that may or may not have even known that this village even exists, to come and recognize them, their struggles, and their triumph in getting over all of this. But then have been reflecting on the line of work that I do in community and recognizing how creative you must be to work with communities of people that are always dynamic, that are people that are changing like human beings do, because they are creating the community that you're working with. I think that it's vital that you get acquainted with where and how to recycle on a daily basis with the products that you're using. In addition, being mindful of the products that you're buying, be educated on the companies that you are making purchases from. What kind of ethics do they participate in? Are they testing on animals? Are they being wasteful in the production services that they purchase from? It doesn't take much to just run a name of a brand through Google to find these things. But at this point, our planet has reached a degree of pollution that we simply have no choice but to continue to be mindful of making these decisions. We can't buy into the consumerism that is always trying to be pushed down our throats, or else we will continue to run our planet into the ground. You can even do things like buying secondhand clothes, remaking clothes out of the clothes that you already have, ripping them apart and having that fabric to remake to either gift to someone else or for you to use for yourself. There's so many different small ways in which we can make sure that our carbon footprint is as small as possible, because it's already far too big. So the advice that I would give any young person, either interested in social work or interested in being an artist, both of which are things that are not highly encouraged in this society due to their lack of financial income, is if you find something that creates that spark within you, if you feel motivated, if you feel an unexplainable energy behind the work that you are doing or the activity that you're engaging with, just tap into that. Just tap into that a little bit more often. Even if people are telling you, especially people that really love you, such as parents or anyone in your family, that you need to do something else, remember what that sound of your soul saying something to you when you are engaging with that activity. Remember what that sounds like and don't let it go. Even when it hurts, it's really important. It's really vital to the life that you will once have. Art can really take so many, almost infinite forms. And I think it's really important to not think about it as just a pen on paper or painting or sculpting alone, which those are beautiful ways in which to express yourself, but that any way in which you're expressing yourself can be a form of art, and it's really important to tap into that as often as possible.